Black Alpha Network. Power to the people.
There's been a lot of crazy things going on, so it's time that we go ahead and celebrate. Because one thing about the Black Alpha Network, we celebrate. We hold things down, and we don't get all into the negative energy, man. We represent. Shout out to my brother John Horst. Salute to you, family. I'm waiting on my brother Afro and a couple other people, man. But I want to just bring it all in so we can represent FBA. We can celebrate everything that's going on right now. We can hold things down because, you know, a lot of people hate on us. A lot of people got static problems and issues, but, you know, we got to keep them hating. The more, you know, they stay hating on us, the more we on the game and the more we doing what we got to do. So that's what this space is about. And we're going to break it down. Anybody want to pull up. I don't know who's all attending. I want to see who's all going to be there. So, you know what I'm saying? We could all click up, man. It's like a big family affair. And I always say it's the FBA family tree, and we all represent that family tree. So it don't matter where you are, no matter where you're from, we got to do this all right. You know, just to offset a lot of the negative energy and put out a lot of positive energy. So that's what this is definitely all about. And we're going to have a good time when we do it. We're going to represent it because it don't just stop here. But this is just one of the moments where we can all be on the same page. We could all be on the same accord. But at the end of the day, it's all about us. And that's the way we got to start moving. You look at the situation going on right now with the Daniel Penny situation. This guy's out there raising $1 million, but yet I'm seeing some of my brothers and sisters out here and they can't even get a couple $100. We got to change that. So these are the things that we can get together, we can build, we can shoot out everybody. Shout out to my brother Marcel. Marcel, come on up, family. Come on up, brother. I want to break it down with you as well, man, because I know you're going to be there. So everything is good, man. But this is all about us celebrating our lineage, our heritage, and our culture, and just really getting on game, getting on code. We all operating on the same frequency, and that's what is most important to me, because the problem that I always consistently see is that these other communities, they galvanize over evil. You understand? So we're going to have to start galvanizing over positivity, building with one another, and exposés like this, as long as, you know, as well as the rally, everything that we do is all about us. So we're going to continue that all about us energy, and we're going to continue to hold it down. I got my brother Afro Elite in the building, man. How you doing, brother?
Brother Alpha, I'm good, brother. I'm good. I'm glad to be here. I was looking forward to this the whole day because I know we're going to chop it up. We're going to really get it down today. So it's a lot I want to say about this thing because I'm very excited about the Expo.
Man, can you imagine, brother? It's already here, family. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, I know. I mean, this month has just flew by. I feel like, damn it, we're in the first week and now it's like halfway here. And then next thing you know, we're all going to be in Dallas.
Man, you know, it brings it home, brother, that, you know, what we always speak about, everybody here, man, this is all one big FBA family tree. And I think that's the thing that's different between other eras. We don't have that separation amongst each other. We actually get out here, we meet, we exchange notes, we politic, and we just continue to bring that energy. And we do move as a family unit. Don't matter what side of that tree you on, it don't matter what region, but we all move together. And we don't just do it on the internet. We out here doing it in real life and making everything happen. So salute to everybody in here. Salute to everybody who's coming. I cannot wait. I can't believe it's already here. This is showtime. This is game time. And you know, FBA puts on unlike anybody. I want to ask you a question though, brother Afro. I got to ask you this, brother. When the rally was here and, you know, the rally came and went, brother, doesn't it feel like that was a year ago? That was only 6 months, fam. Does this seem that long to you?
You said, wait, you asking, does it feel like it was a year ago?
Yeah, like the rally, don't it feel like that was a year ago? It was only 6 months ago.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting, like thinking about it, because it feels like I remember every detail like it happened like a month ago, but then I miss it like it happened a year ago. It's a very weird feeling about the time thing, and we're gonna feel the same way about this Expo. We're gonna feel the exact same way about it. But it feels it feels like it's been too long. See, that's the thing. We had too much fun. So it feels like it's been too long. That's what it is.
Man, brother, I always tell people, man, I wish I could relive that day. That day was a 24-hour day. I wish it was 48 hours because that day was special. And I got a feeling the expose is going to be even bigger. But like we said, man, it's all about building. It's all about networking. Salute to our brother Tariq, as well as everybody else who's putting on. This is the type of energy that we're putting out here. And also at the same time, we're leading by example because there's a lot of young brothers and sisters where they're seeing us all get on the same page and operate as one unit, where we didn't necessarily have that in the past. You had 50 million million people going 50 million different directions. You had this group, that group. A lot of black folks wanted to, side with white groups and Republicans and Democrats. Now we moving as FBA, as a lineage all together, and that's how things get done. So I like the fact that we're leading by example. You're going to have brothers and sisters there. They're going to be, vending, making money, politicking, and whoever knows how things may turn out or whatever endeavors may occur. But it's all going to be done based upon that family tree, that unity, galvanizing. And be honest with you, brother, do you remember any time, especially in modern history, where we've had this type of, allegiance, we've had this type of code, we've had this type of style? Have you ever remembered any time like this, brother?
No, I've never, not in my lifetime. I don't think, to be totally honest, I don't think since the civil, and I'm not talking about just the civil rights movement, I'm talking about like the peak of the civil rights movement, like in the mid 60s. I don't think we've ever been as a collective, as on code in person and tangibly making things happen as we are in this era, in this moment right now.
Special times, brother. Special times, special times. And the way we was talking earlier, I don't know if anybody heard it yet, but I was talking about the Daniel Penny situation and how this guy raised $1 million. But yet we got brothers and sisters that can't get $100 for positive things. That's the energy that we got to change. We got to change that. We got to flip that. So not only are we going to meet up and we're going to politic based upon, our business, but we also got to, get together and support each other. And a lot of brothers and sisters do. So salute to everybody who does. But at the end of the day, these other groups, they support each other all across the board, including financially. So when somebody can be a race soldier and then raise $1 million in a couple weeks, we got to go ahead to the point where we raise funds for each other for whatever our brothers and sisters are enacting. And that's what I love about these situations. So this is going to be a great time. This is going to be real. I cannot wait. All my brothers and sisters, I can't wait to see you in person. I know my brother Afro going to be there. Marcel, I'm going to be there. If anybody's going to be there and you want to come on up, let's come on up and talk, man. But we're going to do it, and everybody's got to represent, because you got to be with the people. You got to be with the people. It's cool on the internet. It's fun and dandy. But if you're not really out there meeting the people, speaking to the people, galvanizing and actually moving as one where people can see you, you ain't really doing too much. So it's all about being out there amongst each other. And that's the best part. So I cannot wait for it. I'm ready for it. It's going to be a great time. Brother Afro, you can handle this real quick, man. I got to go get my pit bull because he's running through the yard, brother.
Okay, I got you. If anybody wants to come up and speak, feel free to come up, because I definitely want to hear your upcoming opinions about it, because the rally is soon. The rally is going to be here very soon. So I want to hear people's expectations. But we have some things set up, around that time. So I'm just be looking out for something. Just be looking out for something special. But this is something that I want to get people's opinion on, something that I want to see what people are looking forward to. And also, too, if people have, if there are any vendors in the room right now, I think it would be good for you to, come up, put your business up, or if you have it in a Jumbotron, or just mention your business. That way, when you get to the expo, people can already kind of be expecting you. People can already be looking for your brand, your product, whatever service that you do. People can already be expecting that, because this is going to be a very good networking opportunity for businesses, for you to connect if you're a business, for your business to connect with other businesses, for people to find your businesses and all of that. So if we can, get the ball rolling ahead of time, that's even better. That's much, much better if we can get the ball rolling ahead of time. So if anybody has any businesses or anything like that, definitely feel free to come up. Even if you just want to come up and, say hello and put your stuff in the Jumbotron, feel free to do that, because I think that'll be very beneficial to have people looking for your business or product prior to getting to the expo. And also, too, I want to talk about how our brother Black Alpha was talking about how we meet up and doing things tangibly. Now, in recent times, people called us a lot of things. People have called us, and when I say us, I mean us as a collective. People said that we're some fringe group. People said that we're a bunch of Russian bots. People said that we're, some, what's that thing called? Pseudoscientists. People say a lot of things, and we're this small minority of fringe people who don't get on, who only are on Twitter, only on the internet and YouTube, and we only do things for content, and nobody is doing anything for in real life. You know, we make tweets, we retweet things, but we're not actually tangibly doing things in real life. And like I was expressing before, answering his question, that since the civil rights movement, and I said in the peak, which is really around like the 60s. The 60s was really its peak. Now, it didn't necessarily end in the 60s, but after the 60s, going into the 70s and everything like that, you still, of course, had the Black Panther Party, but it started to kind of wind up, you know, around that time. It started to end around that time. But really, since the 1960s, you haven't really seen Black people as galvanized in person, ready to march, ready to do things like that. Now, of course, you've had small instances and stuff like that. And I'm not just talking about Black people meeting up to protest. This is something, and I've been trying to express this for a while, this is something that we're doing proactively. The thing about protest is that protest by nature is a reactive thing, which is, and I'm not, you know, talking negative about protest, but protests are a reactive thing. Instead of being reactive, it's about time. It's long been since time that as a community, we've been doing something that is proactive. When we do things that are proactive, we can push the needle forward and we can change the momentum in our direction. Okay, we're not on the defense. Now we're on the offense. Tariq didn't make, or he didn't set this up in a response to something else, just like the rally for reparations. He didn't set that up in response to an anti-reparations rally. He didn't set this expo up in response to an anti-FBA expo. You know what I'm saying? These things are proactive, and everybody who's going to be there, and then everybody who's going to be there in spirit, and everybody who's going to be, you know, supporting in every way that they can, we are all being proactive. I think our brother Black Alpha is back. Black Alpha, you back?
Yeah, I'm back, man. My damn dog was running through the yard being crazy, man. But yes, brother, and let me piggyback off what you just said, family. I like that. We're leading the fray. We're leading with respect. We're not waiting for anything, or we're not trying to counter what other people are doing. We really are just staying in our FBA lane. And that's a beautiful thing, because when we stay in our FBA lane, we're more focused, we're more galvanized, and we're getting things done. I want everybody to really sit back and just think about this lineage journey that we've been on, because if you really want to define this last 5 to 10 years and going forward, it's all about lineage, heritage, culture, and reparations, and all that ties in together. And everybody has to realize, foundational Black Americans, us as a lineage, this is our time. We've got rid of some of the misnomers from the past about everybody and all the Black folks in the world and color folks and people of color. We've changed all that, and we focus right now. And what I tell people consistently is that we are inside of a nation, but our impact is global. So if you watch, our influence is all over the world. And I'm not just talking about music. I'm not just talking about pop culture. I'm talking about politically, socially, all across the board. Every single thing we do is affecting everybody. That's why everybody got a fake reparations claim now. Everybody out here is talking about reparations left and right, and they're only doing that based on us. If we weren't talking about reparations, they wouldn't be talking about reparations. So you see, the world is basically just follow the leader. And right now, we're the ones doing all the leading, and we're leading by example. So if it's anything that has something to do with being on top, being focused, and getting the work done, it's us. So as I always say, we got to start saluting ourselves. We got to start patting our own selves on the back, and we got to start celebrating ourselves. Gone are the days where we sit back and we wait for somebody's acknowledgement. This ain't the Oscars. This ain't the Grammys. We ain't trying to get an award from somebody. We're doing it for our own. We're doing it by ourselves, and we're making it look very damn good too. So the Expo is going to be another case in point of our excellence. And I tell brothers and sisters, don't walk with your head down, walk with your head to the sky. And we got to continue to do that. And the more we stack on days and weeks and months and years, the more we're going to show everybody what we've already known, and that we are excellent and exceptional, just like Dr. Claude Anderson says. Brother, how you feel about that, Afro?
I definitely agree. And I'm starting to see that now. It's a beautiful thing, because it's happening at a rate that's a lot faster than anybody predicted. Nobody predicted that a huge, large collective of Black society, whether they are aware of like the term FBA, whether they're on code like we are, or whether they're just feeling the change in energy, the that like the ancestors guiding, whether they feeling all of that stuff or not, you know, the change is coming and everything like that. Justice is coming. This is why when people tell us things like we're never going to get reparations, we're never going to get anything, white people are never going to allow us to get anything, they don't want us to have it, they're never going to get it. Just like what's that name, Jim Clyburn, talking about, oh, we're never going to get it. We say no to that because we're starting to see that our actions determine what their actions are. We have to understand collectively that white supremacy has only existed because enough Black people have not stood up and tried to dismantle white supremacy. White supremacy only exists because too many Black people are complacent with the system and allow the system to continue to flourish and to grow and to become stronger. And now it's at this point it is now. But white supremacy is not a permanent system of the world. It's not a permanent world system. It's a system that can be and will be dismantled. And there is a growing number, a growing critical number of Black people, whether they're as fully as, I guess, conscious, so to speak, if we can use that term, as we are in this room or not. There's a growing number of Black people who are done with it and who tangibly and actively want to see the change, and tangibly and actively are acting and putting forth the methods and making the change happen. You know, it's not enough. It's not 15 years ago where Black people were just talking about, man, these racist police, man, these politicians ain't doing anything. You have Black people saying, you know what, if the politicians aren't doing anything, I'm going to be the politician to do something. If you say, okay, well, if there's a food desert in my neighborhood, I'm going to put a food garden up. If there's not teachers in our schools that are teaching the kids the things they need to be taught, not stuff they shouldn't be taught, then I'm going to be a teacher and I'm going to teach the kids, or I'm going to create some type of school program. But for instance, our sister Kenny, who's doing her thing with health. If nobody's going to do it, then we're doing it. You know what I'm saying? If they don't, we will have to do it because it has to be done. And we're seeing more Black people start to take that initiative and changing the pendulum to where it's going to destroy white supremacy. So that's a really beautiful thing. And it's a beautiful thing that we're living in this moment, because we could have been born, 50 years ago and never been able to see this. But we're here right now, and we have the youth, we have the ability to not only witness what's happening, but to be a part of the change. So we're all blessed to be a part of this.
Man, brother, you said that perfect, family. Perfect. Because if you look at it, just going back a few years ago, I mean, we can go back 15 years ago, and a lot of the things that we're doing now wasn't even in people's vision. They didn't even fathom it. A lot of folks back in the day was real underground. A lot of the people who were woke and conscious and aware, they were kind of underground. But now if you notice, it's mainstream. Everything we do is like on the front line. People follow our lead. Being a certified foundational Black American, or being, as they say, woke or conscious, or whatever term you want to use, enlightened, whatever it is, when you are on code, that's the thing now. And it became the thing by us identifying who isn't on code and completely running them off the block. People can't come around right now and say people of color. We're not going to accept that. You can't say minority. We're not running with that. You can't say Black and brown. We ain't running with that. So one thing that we've done, and we have to celebrate ourselves for this, is that we have identified who is a friend and who's a foe. We've identified who's on code and who's off code. And we've identified what works for us and what does not work for us. And if it doesn't work for us, we've gotten it out the paint. And we literally went down systematically one by one and got rid of anybody on that type of time and anybody on that type of energy. And at the same time we did that, we still been out here handling supremacy. The Jordan Neely situation happened, but to be honest with you, those videos have declined. Videos where we are being victimized are not the same rate as they used to be 3, 4, 5 years ago. 3, 4, 5 years ago, there was a new video every day. So I see when brothers and sisters say they getting their self-defense game up, they must be. They really are out here doing it. And that's a beautiful thing, because it's not just talk. They don't run up on us like they used to. When we start saying terms like pulling up, or, we're going to fight back or stand up for us or stand in our square, fuck around and find out, we really been practicing that, because they don't run up on us like they used to. So that's a great thing, because we're not sitting here going through the same fray where someone harms us and then Ben Crump shows up and we just do that cycle over and over and over. We're changing it all the time. Shout out to Sister Nikki, because I seen you the other day, Nikki. You said, when we going to change this cycle? When are we going to really change it? And that's a great question. And that's what I like right now, because we are changing the cycle. We're not allowing people to just run us through the fray. And it's all based upon us getting our economic game up, our social game up, and getting our political awareness. So it all works as a collective, and we've been multitasking. So we're going to have to, like I say all the time, we got to start celebrating ourselves more. Because if you want to walk down the street and find a bunch of people who are going to throw smut on our names and slander and smear us, you got a whole damn world that's going to be anti-foundational Black American. So what we got to do, we got to counter that by just being braggadocious. We got to be arrogant. If you're going to be arrogant about something, be arrogant about your lineage, because we done put in enough work and we deserve it. Don't let nobody try to shame you from being proud of your lineage, heritage, and culture, because we all know what that's gotten us. That's gotten us the people of colors. That's gotten us the minorities. That's gotten us everything else. So it's time right here today going forward that we represent our goddamn selves. We celebrate our goddamn selves. And if somebody doesn't like it, fuck them. With that said, back to you, Afro.
Hold on, I'm trying to somebody's question to come up. My thing is kind of messing up. Somebody else gonna have to do that. But I definitely agree with you. The videos of us being victimized, the videos of us being harmed, you're actually seeing the opposite of that. You're actually seeing a whole bunch of Karens saying the N-word, and you seeing them getting their ass whooped. That's what we're seeing now. And we're seeing that not just once or twice. We're seeing that day after day, where it used to be, stuff happens so frequently and so fast. We don't know how quick the change has been, because we're seeing so much of it. So we're thinking that this has been done over the course of many years. This has not been done over the course of many years. Remember, when the Karen term first started coming up and we started seeing videos of Karens or Carolines, I guess that's what we're calling them now, Carolines, where they were stopping Black people from entering the apartment building, talking about, I want to see your ID, acting like they're deputized, or whatever the case is, calling the police on Black people in parks or in the store or whatever the case is. And we're starting to see that. And then we used to see Black people being all like, you don't understand what my people have been through, and all we want is an education and to live free, and I don't do anything. I am a law-abiding citizen, and I go and I vote every single election. We used to see Black people explain and try to reason with white supremacists to try to touch a sense of morality and a sense that they believe they had of consciousness and humanity to get them to stop victimizing them. Now, within the course of, I really want to say 2 years, but maybe 3. I really want to say 2, though. You're not seeing that at all. Black people aren't saying anything but, excuse me, what did you say? And then bam, it's a fight going on, which is Black people defending themselves, as we can understand. Because if Jordan Neely, who was not saying anything to anybody, you know what I'm saying? If they say Daniel Penny was defending himself, then they damn sure can't say Black people aren't defending ourselves. So it's just Black people, defending ourselves justifiably because we're being attacked verbally. And then after that is going to be a physical attack. But we're not seeing Black people explain ourselves. We're not seeing that anymore. We're not seeing Black people all like, I'm going to call the police. We're not seeing Black people like, I'm going to find you who you are, and I'm going to give you a little cute Karen nickname to go viral on Facebook. Black people don't necessarily care about going viral on Facebook or Twitter or TikTok or any other social media app. Black people aren't caring about that. Black people aren't talking about, remember when 2020, and I know I'm saying a lot right now, remember after the situation with George Floyd and there was a bunch of protests going on and you saw Black people all like, I can't believe this. I'm not racist to anybody. Why do y'all treat us like this? Just asking questions as to why. What is going on? I don't understand. What do we do? Why do you hate us? All of these things where we're asking for some form of justification as to why we get subjugated, as to why we get oppressed, as to why we get hated so much. And we would ask for some form of reasoning. But you're seeing, and that was in 2020. This is the first half of 2023, Black people are not asking those questions. Black people collectively don't care anymore why they're racist. I think Black people are starting to recognize the fact that there's nothing that they can do to change their hearts, the white supremacists. But Black people don't care anymore. Black people aren't asking any questions anymore. And that's a very, very empowering thing. And I think it's important for us to take a second to realize the amount of progress that we've made really within the last couple of years. That's been a lot of progress. And I'm going to say something else before I know we have other speakers up. I'm going to say something else. As we understand how horrific and tragic the George Floyd video was, can you imagine if instead of that happening in 2020, if that happened in 2015, or if that happened in 2016, you wouldn't have really seen the same type of reaction from Black people, which encouraged everybody else to have that reaction. You wouldn't have really seen that type of reaction. This stuff has been built up over years to where Black people, the uprising that we had in 2020, I don't even feel comfortable saying that that would have happened if the same exact video of George Floyd happened 5 years ago, 5 years prior to that. So it was really at 2020 where the Breonna Taylor thing, Black people were fed up. The Ahmaud Arbery thing, Black people were fed up. And then the George Floyd thing. And then it was just, okay, something has to be done. You know, a pandemic be damned. Black people were out there and Black people were turning up and we got things changing. And things have changed ever since. The status quo has changed really ever since. And now you see the dominant society is trying to get the status quo back to what it was prior to 2020. And they're struggling to do that. They can't do that because we won't let them do that. And I'll end there.
Good point, brother. Everybody got to understand we made some real certified moves within the last few years. They didn't want to give us any type of political power, so we started creating a bunch of Black grassroots politicians. And there are far more Black grassroots politicians out there. So we countered them not giving us political love. They don't want to give us any type of protection. So what we start doing, we start pushing for an anti-foundational Black American hate crime law. That's what we did. They don't want to give us the economic support, so we start pushing reparations. These are all G moves that we did. We didn't sit down and go to them and say, please give it to us. Has anybody in this room heard anybody say, we wish y'all give us reparations, or we hope you give us reparations, or please give us reparations? Those terms aren't even associated with our reparations claim. We demand them. And when you demand things, that's different than asking. That's different than begging. That's different than pleading. We don't have none of that energy in us. That's just what our brother Afro was alluding to. We do not sit back and wait for things to come to us. We lead it. So that's one of the great things about this era and this generation. And one thing we have to do as we sit back and we look at our generation, we got to understand that this generation will be spoke of. It will be spoke of. I'm talking about 50 to 100 years from now. It'll live longer than all of us. And that's the thing. So we got to make sure it's a good one. And right now we're in the middle of it. We're in the middle of this generation, the reparations movement and, you know, just the tangibles movement. We're not in the beginning of it. We're right in the middle, like in the square center of it. So what we do right now is going to affect us forever. And we can't fumble the bag. Too many times before in the past, there was too many sob stories. It's like, damn, if only that didn't happen, or if only that didn't go in that direction. One of the things that I love that we're doing as we speak of leading by example, we're sticking together and we're unified and we're showing people that our brothers and sisters, certifieds, we are on code and we are moving right along. So as we push through this process and we move through this cycle, we're doing it side by side and we standing together. And we're making this generation go down as one of the best generations of all time. And we're doing it with that ancestral presence, but we got that whole new style. Everything is fresh nowadays. We changed the whole vernacular. All the words are different. You know, the way we speak to each other is different. You can just sense it. And it's a look that we all got that we're not playing no more. We're very, very focused. We're dialed in. We're concise and we're precise and we making things happen, but we're doing it when we say, not when someone else says. With that said, I cannot pronounce your name. Is it Live and Share or something like that? It's on you. Hey, what's this person's name, Afro? Do you see it? I can't. The speaker. Go ahead. You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, Living About is you can speak now.
I'm sorry, I didn't even mean to hit the button, but shout out to everybody in the room, and I love y'all. Real quick, before you leave, are you going to be at the Expo? No, my grandmother's birthday is that weekend. She about to be turning 91, so I'm going to spend some time with her. Oh, well, happy birthday. Happy birthday to your grandma. Thank you. How y'all been? Y'all good? Well, fuck it. Y'all continue, and I did not mean to hit the button. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, yeah. Everybody, let's wish a happy birthday to our sister's grandmother over here. Both of their asses is old as hell. Both of them old as hell. They both 91 years old. One born in January and the other one born in May.
Where they from?
I'm from Jersey, but both of my family, all my family from Virginia.
Shout out to VA.
Yeah. I hate fucking Virginia, but no.
What you got against Virginia? Well, hold on now. What you got against Virginia?
Oh boy, here we go.
Every time I go back to Virginia, it was like something was built on top of something, like a plantation was there, and then they built something on top of it, and then you could feel the spirit, you could feel the energy. The police, even the people in Virginia is pretty nice. They pretty cool. That was the only thing I got good out of it. But the circumstances, it still felt like some old slavery shit to me, being honest. All right, y'all, I'm going to step down.
Hey, still shout out to Virginia now. I got love for VA, man. I got love for VA. Shout out to everybody listening from VA. One love.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I think what she said was actually interesting, because we constantly hear that slavery was like this thing that happened so far in the past. No, and shout out to our brother TBA, because he brought that up before about how the Native Americans, they still get reparations, or they got reparations, what, 100 and I think he said 140 years, 120 or 40 years after what had happened to them. You know what I'm saying? And yet you have the dominant society say, well, nobody alive was a slave and nobody alive had ever owned slaves. So why should we have to pay for slavery reparations? And to touch on what our sister was just talking about, slavery is really not that far removed from modern society, from modern history. When we hear about it and we see the black and white pictures and all that, and it's taught, and it's kind of taught in the context of slavery was something that happened ages ago in the beginning of time or whatnot. Slavery is not something that happened that long ago. Only actually very recently did all of the people who were enslaved die. I think the last legal slave, I believe she died in what the 1970s, I think. I think it's 1973. That's the number that's in my head. That's not that long ago. That's not that long ago at all. You have people who are alive today that were born before the 1970s. So the 1970s was not that long at all. So slavery is not that far removed from modern history. So I think it's very important that we keep that in mind.
It's funny, bro, because we had that conversation before. They tried to make slavery like it went on with the dinosaurs, and they tried to make it look like the civil rights era was right along with, the colonial era, and it's not at all. Right here in Georgia, they got a lot of places that are still just plantations, plantations that slaves walked along. And that ties us all into what we're speaking of when it comes to reparations as well. Well, we understand the actual history of reparations. They used to try to hit us with reparations and give us some type of like little sneak stuff where like we didn't understand it. And a lot of brothers and sisters didn't really get it, but we so educated and so thorough with our studying, with our research, that we can break down who got reparations, where they got them, how there's a lot of people who weren't even from America that got reparations in their homelands, but they got the money from America. We know reparations top to bottom, inside out. There's nothing that they can pull on us when it comes to that. And one thing I love with our brothers and sisters today in this era is that we don't say reparations ends with cash payments. We say it starts with cash payments. And that's a big, big deal. And that's what I love about us all in this space right now. We're not saying we'll get to the money later, or maybe you could tomorrow. We're saying we got to come in talking numbers. We got to come in operating as if this is a business deal. So our political and our social game is strong. And mind you, nobody taught us this. We are some self-taught people, because the previous generations before, they taught us a lot of vote blue no matter who. They taught us a lot of can't we all just get along. They taught us a lot of all lives matter. We changed all of that by ourselves. So we got to give ourselves, once again, a certified salute. We got to pat ourselves and celebrate ourselves because nobody else is going to do that. And there ain't nothing wrong with it. Can't nobody shame us. We taught our own selves about reparations. You know, we stood up. We got lineage based and lineage pride. We got rid of a bunch of misnomers about all black folks on the planet going to get along and Pan-Africanism. We stood in a spotlight that is amongst ourselves, and we done it amongst ourselves. We can't sit back and give any credit to all these other people other than people of our lineage. And that's why we're moving along so good. When you got it in you and you know who you are and you know your self-worth and you know you got options, then you go further. And that's something that we all have. So therefore, we pushing right along. Can't nobody stop us, and we getting stronger every single day without a doubt. I see my brother Raheem in here. It's all on you, brother.
Yeah, peace, brother. I just wanted to I was listening and I heard the brother said that slavery, the last slave that was on this soil was in 1970. That, brother, is not true. The last slave died in 1935, and his name was Cool. Was one of the youngest slaves that was on the ship. The last ship that came over here was called the Catilda, and they was in Mobile, Alabama. That's where the ship landed, and they came from the interior of Benin. And Nora Hurston, I'm probably saying her name wrong, but she's the author of a book called Barracoon, and she talks about how he was the youngest slave and he outlived everybody. That it was 110 of them that came aboard that ship called the Catilda, and he lived to be like 95 years old. He died like in 1935 or 34. But anyway, she went over there and interviewed him, and all of this documented in her book. That the book came out like 2020, and it's called Barracoon. And as you know, in the 1930s, they didn't have movies with sound. So she actually has a moving image of him, but there's no sound to it. So he is the only slave, an actual slave that there's an actual moving image of. But there's no sound to it. I just wanted to, let y'all know that, because you don't want to say 1973 or 1970. I was born in 1970, and I don't think it was nobody around then from slavery. But I just want to say that.
Okay, let me ask you. This person, I think his name Sylvester McGee or something. That's not the last former slave.
It's Cujo Lewis.
Cujo Lewis. So was Sylvester McGee not a slave? Huh? So this person was I don't know. I think it's pronounced Sylvester McGee. That person wasn't a slave.
Oh, I've never even heard of that person. I just know that the last known slave on this soil, that because what happened was slavery was already abolished, right? Slavery still existed, but the importation of slavery was abolished, and it was two white individuals. They made a wager, a bet in the bar that they could still go into the interior of Africa and bring back slaves, and they went and they brought back 110 slaves, and he was one of them. And I think he was like 10 years old or something like that. And he outlived everybody. And in fact, I was working on a movie. It's called Contraband Flesh, right? It was a documentary, and I interviewed a lot of his descendants that's still there in Mobile, Alabama. Like the school that they erected is still there, because out of these 110 slaves, right? You got to remember, there was foundational Black Americans that was here. You know what I mean? So when they abolished slavery, they was only, those 110 individuals was only enslaved for like 4 or 5 years, right? Because they had just came over here. So they petitioned the court to expedite them back to to Benin, but they said nah. And so they wind up staying here because they didn't have no way of going back. And they intermingled with the Foundation Black Americans that was here. They married into the family. And a lot of their customs they had, because remember, they didn't just go over there and get slaves. They had kings, they had doctors, they had engineers. So they was able to set up hospitals, schools. One of the schools is still there. It's called the Mobile, I forget the name of it, but it's in Mobile, Alabama. I seen the school and everything. You know, they reconstructed and everything. But yeah, I was working on a documentary, and in fact, I'm still gonna put it out. You know what I mean? It's just that I got too many projects I'm working on right now. We just gotta get back to it. But everything is shot. Some stuff I might have to shoot over again. But definitely look that book up. Now, the person that you said, I'm not familiar with them, but I definitely will do my research on them. And you said what the name is? Sylvester? I'm gonna write it down.
Sylvester McGee.
Sylvester McGee. You spell that McGee?
No, it's hold on, let me see. It's spelled Magee. MAG and then 2 E's.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll look that up. But he was supposed to be the last slave?
Yeah, he was a former slave. He was born in 1940. He was born in the 1940s, and he died in 1971.
So
So
if he was born in the 40s, well, you know what?
I mean, not 1940, 1840.
Oh,
18, my bad.
1840.
Yeah, my bad.
And he died when? 19 what?
1971.
How was that?
Now I'm not saying that for a fact. I'm just saying that's what I was.
19,
that's what I had found out some years ago. So.
And then you said 1840.
Yeah, that's what it says his birthday was. He was born.
Nah, he would be 131 years old.
Hold on, let me see. Hold on. Look. Like, I don't know. Maybe he was in good health, brother. I don't know this man. I'm just saying what I was told. I was told he was the last.
But sometimes we get knowledge secondhand. There's nothing wrong with it, but you might want to do some research and cross-reference that reference. I was always taught try to get at least 3 reference. You know what I mean? I think they said like a book, you know what I mean? Look for it. It's documented visually, But yeah, I'll look into it. But 131 years old, he lived a good, nice, long life. But
I wouldn't say nice.
Well, listen,
being a slave,
if he lived 131 years, shit, I know he outlived a few of the slave masters. He should have got his freedom, or either took it.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, I just came to
I'll look into that. I'll look into that.
Yeah. I was just listening, man, and we all got to be right and exact, man, because we got too many people listening to us. Everybody eyes and ears is on us, and it's each one teach one. You know what I mean? Just like I'm sure y'all didn't know about Cujo Lewis. You know what I mean? I ain't know about Sylvester McGee. Now, that's my homework for the day. I'm going to look that up sometime today. I'm going to, make sure I look that up, man. But anyway, man, peace to the family. Make sure y'all follow me, Raheem Shabazz, on every platform. Make sure y'all check out my documentary, Elementary Genocide 1, 2, and 3. And I also have a book coming out. It's called Radical Hope in the 21st Century. I ain't gonna give no release date, but I will say very, very soon. It's every time I do a release date, I never make the date. I'm starting to learn that you cannot, put a time stamp on creativity. When it's done, it's done. But I ain't got the seal of approval yet. I'm still working on some, some minor things, but for the most part, it's like 85, 90% done. All right, I'm going to step that down into the audience.
Appreciate you, brother.
Salute. Much respect, family. Much respect, everybody. That's what we be talking about. We were just saying that right now. It's good that we all sit here and we exchange notes. I remember years ago when brothers and sisters in the North and the South, they barely communicated. Brothers and sisters on the east and the west, they barely communicated. Now we got right here in this space, I see brothers and sisters all throughout the 50 states. And I'm seeing it right now amongst 8 different people. So that shows you right there, we represent the East Coast, the West Coast, down south, up north, everything in between. I don't care if you're on the West, California. I don't care if you're in New York City. I'm right here in GA, my brother Afro in Chicago. We got a bunch of people. I see you east side, my brother Marcel, you were literally up the road from me. And that's what it's all about. There's no East Coast, West Coast. You feel me? All that stuff, that's drama from the dominant society. This ain't the Civil War. This ain't up north, down south beefing and none of that. We understand that that's their problem. We all come from that same lineage and we unified, and that's how we break it down, and then we galvanize amongst that. So salute to everybody in here in the 50 states. I mean, just look at the Expo. You're going to have brothers and sisters representing from everywhere. Folks is flying in from all across the country to come to one spot. And that's how you do it. It's a family affair. What's any different from that than a family reunion? This is just a big family reunion, okay? What's any different than a family reunion, down the street, up the block at your mama house, your cousin house, your grandma house? It's the same exact thing. And we bring that certified energy with us everywhere we go. Each one teach one. We all do a little. We all do a lot. And that's why we move further than other generations, because we don't let those minor differences and those bickering and that back and forth, we don't let none of that get in between. We all stay on code and we all move. And if somebody doesn't want to be on code, we just move on without them. We don't wait. We don't park the bus and wait for people to get on code to hop on the bus. No, we just move on. And it's for those who want to be here. So everybody can hate on our lineage, our heritage, and our culture, but our heritage, lineage, culture, we're going to continue to move. I lost track of all the hands. I'm going to be honest with you. Afro, I don't know if you've seen who's next, family. I have no clue.
Can I say one thing? Would it be
yes, you may. No, it's all on you, sister. Go ahead.
Okay. I just want to let everybody know. I just want to tell everybody, be careful with hippies too, because I worked with a hippie. Because I do home health aid, and I worked with a hippie. He'll go out to the civic center where my main base at, and he was a teacher somewhere up in Maryland, and white dude. He was a hippie. And then he came up over here in Jersey. He'll be sitting up there teaching, people the classes, and I'll be sitting up there cleaning out his house. I actually went into his closet that he told me don't go into, and I did, and just to go clean the fuck up so I can go to my next client. And when I pulled things out of his daggone client, out of his closet, he had hella pictures up in there in a frame with black people from Baltimore. Like, it was like a fetish for him, to where as though they was like being handcuffed and things like that. And I looked at him when he came up in the house. I said, "What is this?" And he was just like, "Oh no, my friend is a photographer." So be careful with hippies too, because hippies, they'd play both sides if they could. So they'd be smiling up in your face and then be hiding shit in their damn closet. Yeah. I don't think we should be trusting no damn body at this point. I'm just being honest, because I seen it right there in front of my face. This nigga was lying. "Oh, my friend is a photographer, so I just kept, everything." Like, yeah, but you kept everything of black people getting locked up in Baltimore. They keep shit like that. And now I'm going to drop down also.
Appreciate that, sister. Yeah, be careful out there, man, for real. We don't got no friends. Now, next we have East Sides, then Beatzilla, then Concerned Black Citizen, and Marcel.
Oh, man, peace to the motherfucking family. Man, I've been missing this, y'all. I ain't even gonna fake. But I'm gonna say this. As Dr. John Henry Clark said, we have no friends. We have no allies. All we have are interests. Now what our sister was saying is some real shit. See, what happens is, like, they do their own little code switching. You see, they start off believing it one thing and then go to something else. Just like with Donald and Hillary and all this. They switched up. One used to be a Democrat, one used to be a Republican, and they switched the game up on us. And like Tariq even mentioned, about how they use memorabilia. See, they went from using our body parts and everything as memorabilia to little clips and press clippings and stuff like that. See, that's something that they could use to throw up in our faces later when they can't be allies anymore. When it's no longer useful for them or benefit them. They'll use stuff like that, and I'll laugh for now.
That's very true. That's very true. I mean, and they pass that stuff down to their children and their grandchildren, you know. So don't let them ever talk about, you know, racism is a thing that old white people just won't leave alone, because it's not. Thank you for that. B Zilla, you got it.
Peace, everybody. What is going on, man? I'm glad I made it. Shout out to my brothers, man. Shout out to all the representatives of the Vanguard. Shout out and salute to all of you. First, let me hit this real quick because I'm just getting in, so I didn't get a chance to hear everything. But I heard y'all touching on I believe you were speaking on the oldest, the last surviving slaves. I'm not sure about the particulars on who would be last, but there is recordings of I believe it's from the 70s, early 70s or late 60s. There's recordings of former slaves that you can get access to, so you will be able to kind of hear from their own experiences what they dealt with. If any of y'all still have old family members from the country around, you might want to go ahead and start asking, you know, grandma or aunties, because truth be told, a lot of the stories from slavery time in my family were passed down orally. So just to say, like, there's information out there to get. I'm not certain who the last living slave was myself, but there is recordings out there to hear about their experiences. Next, I wanted to touch on what you guys were talking about with the hippies. And the hippies, what y'all got to understand about that is that was where that experiment first with the whole liberal integration with blacks started really moving heavy. And that's in that hippie wave, that whole Woodstock free love phase. That's where a lot of the interracial relationships really began. They took off. My uncle and his wife, that's their shit. That's their whole generation was really about swirling, integration, free love, and all of that jazz. So a lot of them older black folks, the baby boomers, they got straight duped in believing that these people were any different than those Dixiecrats, which they were not. They just had a different get down, and they'll go get down with you in the bedroom. They'll go smoke some dope with you. They'll even go party with you, but they finna turn right back around and be on team supremacy. So I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. And again, man, shout out and salute to the family. I'm gonna drop back down to listening because I just walked in myself. So, man, good to see this stage back in action, though, ain't it, family? So, salute to all of y'all, man. I'll holler at you. Peace.
Hey, Zilla, you ain't tell us I was on the West Coast, man. Come on, brother.
Bro, you might not have even seen the news, man. We went straight from winter to summer out here, family. We went straight from 60, 50 and cold and raining to 90 degrees, sunny and blazing overnight. Like, we had no spring. We went straight from winter to summer, bro.
hey, you better enjoy that shit, man, because y'all know y'all gonna be 40 and raining next week.
Man, bro, by the weekend, brother.
That's all right, though. Hey, we're going to make up for you because it's 90 degrees in Georgia. Sun shining, ain't a cloud, brother. Hate to brag. Salute, though, fam.
Yes, sir. Salute to all y'all. Black first, brothers.
All right. Who we got next, Afro? I lost track again, man. I'm bad at that.
Marcel is next, and then Dewan B, and then John Horse.
Hey, Alpha, I had to leave. Y'all, when I say this, it's not going to ever make the paper, maybe. At least not yet. Well, some have. Some is probably coming up, so I shouldn't say may not make the paper. There's some big stuff happening in South Carolina. I am talking about political conspiracies out this world involving, of course, some involving Clyburn, you can be sure, as one was just revealed as far as I'm concerned. It's a lot. So I was just on a major phone call, and there's more things coming up. I'll share them with y'all at the opportune times. I had to drop out. But I just want to say I'm excited about the FBA Expo. One thing we need to do more of is have more events that are codified for us, about us, focus on us to get what is owed and due to us. And that is reparations. That's the ultimate goal. But y'all, there's life after reparations. Reparations is not the end of our cause or our movement. Reparation is the end of a phase of our movement and then the beginning of another one. So we need to constantly have these type of events. These other groups, whenever I go to a large city, or even here in the smaller cities around me, like Charleston and Savannah, even sometimes the smaller towns like Bluffton, South Carolina, or Beaufort, South Carolina, you have these other groups all the time having little rallies and events for their causes. And this country doesn't owe them nothing. I don't care if I agree with most of what Ann Coulter says or not, but Ann Coulter has been consistent in saying, what the hell are y'all protesting? Who are y'all demanding something? This country only owes Black Americans. We are the primary group. You can even get away with saying the only group that this country has deliberately, persistently, viciously, without any competitors, targeted in the most dehumanizing, brutal, disgusting fashion. We're the only group that's old. So why are we the only group that's never represented when it comes to people having events about political causes? Now, we may have these little caucuses and these little organizations that mention us in their little mission statements, and that's about all we get, is the black and brown or the people of color little refrain or sorry phrase that they like to throw out there. No, we need to have not just events where we just feel good and laugh and enjoy each other's company. Those things are important. We need to have, yes, we deserve and need to have times where we're just going to enjoy each other's company. But we need to be at these events, not planning the next move. We need to be executing one of the moves we've already planned at these events to help advance our people to get the reparations we are owed and then some. But then we need to leave these events with an action plan. And I want to hold us accountable. This includes me. At the Rally for Reparations, which was phenomenal, which is historic, that was something that Tariq pulled off in barely 3 weeks. 5,000 people or more in D.C., a pretty expensive city, and people were there. It was probably more, okay? And even the national NPR did a story about it, and a few other news outlets did. Now, usually you send out a press release. I don't think Tariq did it. I don't think any of us had time to do things like that. But that's just how big of a deal that was. But I think we forget we're there for a cause. We're not just there to show on Twitter that we can come together and make things happen, that we are small, rapidly growing, and mighty, but we're also there to make things happen. We're small, rapidly growing, and mighty, because that's really all it ever took. It wasn't, unfortunately, every one of our ancestors enslaved in the plantation revolting. It was always that small core group that got the uprisings going, that got the revolts going, and then others joined them once they saw action. Now, everyone should be in on planning the action and executing the action. And we have let a lot of people get away with just being dead weight, talking a lot, showing up, talking trash, causing confusion and drama, doing nothing. And when they run their mouth, the first thing we should say is, what are you doing? Don't tell me you're doing something that's so secretive that you can't tell anyone. You can run your mouth and talk about everybody else, but when people ask, what are you doing? Oh, you got to be secretive now. Now you got to be strategic. Don't buy that. We need to do a better job holding each other accountable. If someone has a lot of criticism, then someone better have a lot of work to show in their damn portfolio too. And if they don't have the work to show on their portfolio, then their criticism should fall not on deaf ears. It shouldn't make it to anyone there. We need to not let people who are really being dead weights and really holding the movement down feel so comfortable being dead weights. We need to be more comfortable asking people, are you going to be the candidate or the support team? Or maybe you're doing a PAC or some other organization to help push the movement forward. But tell me what you're doing, because those same people have no problems telling you what you're not doing or telling me what I'm not doing or shouldn't be doing. So why have we not been asking more people, what are they doing? The second thing, when the Rise for Reparations ended, the mission that we had was that we were going to go to where all these other groups go. When Nancy Pelosi did a speech in some part of California, those illegals stormed the podium. Now, imagine us doing that. They said Jordan Neely was a threat because he said he was hungry. And this Neanderthal bigoted coward snuck up and got him in a chokehold with two men, if you want to call them men, helping him. This small, petite guy, and it took these three sorry men to hold him down and strangle him for 15 minutes. He was perceived as a threat. You have these illegals who are not citizens who stormed Nancy Pelosi, who is the second really most powerful, if you could, vice presidents don't really have no power. So really the Speaker of the House is the second most powerful person in government. Those illegals were able to storm Nancy Pelosi's speech. I don't know if y'all remember that, but of course we know they're not for us either. Now they're taking over South Carolina. They're firing black superintendents left and right. And no one can stop them. You know why? Because they went to where all these other groups go. They went to the same place where our ancestors went the moment slavery was over. Robert Smalls, Oscar, Joseph Rainey, Prince Rivers. I don't remember all their names. South Carolina was the main state that had a majority black state legislature, the only state in America's history that had an all black or all non-white state legislature. And that sent the most black people to federal Congress. They went to politics. They went to where the power lies. If our ancestors can do that in the 1860s, even after Reconstruction fell, they were still running for office and some were still staying in office. If they can do that at a time when anti-black American violence and hate, which is still awful now, but at that time, it was unforgivingly brutal, there is no excuse for us not to do it now. Every other group looks at us, hears us, copies us, but we don't ever copy them, and we should. Really, we're always the ones being copied. But we need to copy them and sometimes do what they did and do it better than them. They run for office and do things that's going to hurt us. Left, right, middle, north, south, east, west. They all unite when it's time to keep black Americans to the bottom. That's the uniting force in America. And they do it not by just trolling us on Twitter, or talking tough on social media, or even showing up to events. They do it by ultimately either they run for office and they have supporters who get them there, or they're going to be one of the supporters to get one of their candidates in office. We have to do the same. With this little weak charge, if he had said, I'm not filing charges, what were we going to do? Think about it. What were we going to do? We'll be mad. We'll sign petitions and petitions. Like we were signing petitions to get Carolyn Bryan arrested. Did it ever happen? No. And why can we do nothing about it? Because one, they're protected by the people in power. And who are the people in power? They're not us. So I'm glad this FBA Expo is happening. There needs to be a lot more events where we are executing action to move our people forward. And then when we leave, we have an action plan that we need to execute to move our people forward. We should always be planning, revisiting, polishing, refining, and executing action. And the ultimate action is to get us to where they viciously wanted to remove us. And that's from where power lies. I'm not talking about just voting restrictions. It was against the law for black people to run for office. Of course, during chattel slavery, and then outside of a brief moment of reconstruction, it was against the law for most of this nation's history for us to even think about seeking office, because they know that's where power lies. And we need to recognize it as well, because I'm tired of, signing petitions, protesting. All those things are necessary. I don't have that in me anymore. I have it now to get in power, or to get us as close to it as we can, or to help others get there. All those things matter. The protest, all that stuff matters. But if we're going to protest and petition, and yet we're never going to be the people in power, we're always going to be at the mercy to those in power who are never looking out for us. So it's easy to reason. We need to get people in power who will look out for us. And hell, that was pretty much the speech I was going to give at the Expo. So ain't no need for y'all to come. You just coming just
I was just about to say that, Marcel. I said you gave us a good early, brother. Salute, family. Hey, key point. Black empowerment 24/7, 365, no days off, brother. I look forward to seeing you there, brother, as well as everybody else. And also right here, my brother, Dewan B. Come on up, Dewan. It's on you, family.
What's up, y'all? Yeah. Appreciate y'all. Beatzilla, Afro Elite, Queen Alpha, everybody up in here, Marcel. Nikki down there, Beatzilla, good seeing y'all. But yeah, going to y'all was talking about them damn hippies when I came in here, and I want to second and third that. because I am an admitted West Coast straight up black hippie. That is my world. That's how I get down. You know what I mean? I'm a weed smoking, wine drinking, mushroom tripping hippie. We got to understand, we can't be giving our culture away. Just like we hip hop is, that hippie shit is ours too. Jimi Hendrix. All white hippies are just fake ass Jimi Hendrixes. That's all they are. They saw black folks getting down how we was getting down with that guitar. They knock off. They love Sly and the Family Stone. That's our shit too. It's just a different vibration of blackness. Like, even though we created heavy metal and created that whole hippie thing, it's just a small portion of us that are into that. And that's more along the beat and the vibration of what they can get on to. Because when white folks listen to music, when they get culture, they get the parts of our culture with the least amount of seasoning in it. You know what I mean? And so the hippie culture it was created by them kind of black folks that like that whole interracial thing. It's a Seattle black culture. And y'all know how, I don't know if y'all been to Seattle, but Seattle, you be hard pressed to find a black person and a white person in a relationship. That place, everywhere you look, every couple is like a set of dominoes. It's black and white. So but it's still our culture. You know, it's the same lesson whether you're talking about the white person, like when we accepted Michael Rappaport, we didn't know he was really Remy. You know what I mean? Well, I kind of figured he was, but a lot of us didn't. And the same way we accept them because they like basketball, the same way we accept them because they like any aspect of our culture, those particular black people do too. And at some point, niggas gotta wake up. They love what we do, what we produce, but they don't fuck with us. We don't have no friends. And just because they like us, look, I don't mind the hippies too, because I'm over here on the West Coast. My wife has a crystal business. She goes to these hippies' houses and they grid their home with some crystals and charge them all kind of goddamn money for that. Run that. You know what I mean? I will, yes. We will go to your sound bowl meditation bath. I was at a hippie. Me and my wife were selling crystals at a hippie little sound bowl health event this past Saturday. Them hippies came over buying all them goddamn crystals. But I don't fuck with them. And y'all shouldn't either. And that's what we got to be as black people. And today I saw somebody, I don't know if it was somebody in here, but somebody on Twitter, and I appreciate you with the shit that y'all be sharing with me on the political tip, interview with Stephen Bradford interviewing on Fox 40 talking about the reparations thing and how he said that reparations in California, when they asked him the question directly about cash payments, he said, well, you know, there's a $31 billion deficit and with the new budget coming up, all that bullshit. And so what I immediately did was I emailed his office because he's in my district. I voted for this jackass. And partially I voted for him this last time around because he was championing this reparations bill. But I'm on him. I'm gonna see him at the Gardena Jazz Festival. That's probably the only time he shows his head amongst the black folks here is at the Gardena Jazz Festival. Everywhere else, you'd be hard pressed to find him. But I emailed him immediately, tweeted him, and for those of you who are here in California too, if you have a state senator, whoever's your state representation here in California, if you're black or if you care about our reparations, email them and talk about the importance of cash reparations. Do it weekly. Find your way to get in front of these people's faces, because although we may not have the money in certain pockets to do certain things, when you have a vote and these people know that, and you get a few neighbors of yours on you, and you get these local politicians who only gonna win by a difference of 200 or 300 votes, even here in big ass LA, they're only gonna win by a difference of a couple hundred votes for these little bullshit ass seats. Get up on them. There's all this backtracking and stuff. We ain't with it. And so we got to make sure we do that. And if you one of them niggas that got hippie friends, tell your hippie friend to call for you. Now, but hold on. Make sure you be on the phone with them, because your hippie friend will be like, okay, I'll call. Then turn around and call. Don't give them niggers nothing. So call on three-way with your hippie friend and do all, if that's really your friend. And let's do it like that, because we got to make this shit happen. And yeah, I look forward to seeing y'all at the FBA Expo. I'm throwing my comedy show there the Friday night before in Dallas. The ticket links is in my bio. I got Black Jesus coming out, Slink Johnson, Kamir from All Deaf Digital. We got some LA flavor coming out. We got Larry from Houston. It's gonna be a dope ass event. So it's gonna be a comedy show and a mixer. So y'all get to fuck with each other and shake hands and chop it up before and after the shows. But that's all I want to say. Thanks, y'all.
Hey, much respect to Juan. Hey, I can't wait. I'm gonna pull up, brother. I can't wait. I cannot wait, family. I cannot wait to see it, man. All y'all, everybody in the space, man. I'm definitely gonna try to pull up to that comedy show, man. Hey, can we put that in the jumbo? I still don't know how to do that, y'all. So if Queen or Afro, if y'all or anybody else who know how to do that, please let me know, because we can put the flyer up there in the jumbotron, fam. My brother, what I got in here? John Horse, man. It's all on you, brother.
Yeah, what's good, everybody? Nah, I just wanna say that, yeah, like this expo is a really good thing. I think it's gonna bring a lot of awareness to what we got going on. This is similar to like Dr. Claude Anderson's the Harvest Institute festival thing that he was talking about. I kind of feel like Tariq is kind of taking up that mantle of like doing that, but just looking at the landscape, political landscape, bro, like the Democrats don't really know what to do. They think going to HBCUs and everything like that is going to help them out, talking about white supremacy and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've been getting into arguments with a lot of the, Democratic shills online, and they talking about, oh, you're MAGA, you're MAGA. It's like, nigga, none of that. The shaming tactics don't work, bro. We're not, voting for Joe Biden and, or the Democrats in general, bro, if they don't do anything specific for us economically, bro. If it's not about reparations, they can get out of our face for real, for real. So, I believe that we're gonna get reparations. We might not get it in a way, in a sense of how, the proper way on how to get it, but I know for a fact we're gonna get it. Sometimes I feel like, as a people, sometimes we have to move backwards in order to propel ourselves forward. It's just like a punch. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna, we might have to move backwards.
Much respect, brother. Salute as always, family. Always dropping that fire. We keep it moving, man. We keep it pushing. Concerned Black Citizen, it's on you, brother.
Hey, good evening, family. Good evening, room. Just on a little bit of tip, man. Just to expound on what the last brother was talking about. They words is how they really get us in a spell, because they spout all this white supremacy when he was at the HBCU, or using different tactics, immigration, or calling us people of color. All these other things are just stall tactics. They kind of know we as a people, the grassroots, we don't really go for that, but they really don't speak to us. They try to speak to that demographic of us that don't know about reparations, need the knowledge from brothers like us in this room that's not in this room, because a lot of us know family members and stuff that voted for Joe Biden, or Democratic inspired, all into the church and saying Jesus gonna change things. That's the group of people that they really speak to. So we kind of got to know how to get on our square and use these type of conversations, the FBA Expo, everything that we doing outside the internet, just to get us propelled into the space that we want to be. And we all know the elite is really just a small group of people. It's not really the masses. We the nervous system of the people, but we not the whole. So we just got to get ourselves into that mind frame. And a little bit about the hippies, man. Like, these people don't really get down with us like that. That's part of their religion, just to imitate us. You know what I mean? And by them imitating us, imitating our culture, taking everything we created, that's how they empower. They empower because they took everything from us, and we actively trying to take it back. And just sitting here and getting in bed with these people, man, it always turned out bad. It's always tacky, because it's a Jordan Neely situation actually is a great example on how these people actually feel. From the same group of white society from the 1600s to how they are today. They literally mirror each other. You could take a group of white folk who hung somebody back in that time, and the same group that's on Twitter now and making all these jokes and putting all this money down behind this basically obviously a murderer, a killer, a savage. And the only reason they get behind that, just to show us, it's not really about Jordan Neely. It's really about the fact that he is a proxy for black people. And that's exactly how they want to do us. They want to get us deprived, hungry, no resources, begging for resources, and then they want to come up behind us and kill us. And that's why they all getting behind each other like this, because they trying to show us who they really are. And they can say whatever they want to do with the words. They could call him a criminal. They could try to dirty his name up. But really, it's their actions that show us everything they're about. And I land my plane right there. Thank you, fam.
Much respect, family. Salute. Go ahead, Brother Marcel.
Okay, yeah. This Jordan Neely thing, and I'm going to say this, but I also was going to say it now. We got to look at this a little differently. Okay? We got to acknowledge we can stand our damn ground, too. All right? Our ancestors, I mean, a lot of us, I know I see Tariq's American Maroon, we've been standing our ground in a country where we grew the crops that enriched this country, among other things, laid the railroads, built the cities, the foundation, all in this ground. We've been standing our ground long ago. They've always told us this is not our ground, and we don't have any right. The only rights we have is to be buried in the ground dead. We've always told them, hell no, that ain't the way it's going to go. From the days of the Maroons to now, we need to get that Maroon spirit back. We need to look at this Jordan Neely situation a little differently. So what they're saying is this whole Trayvon Martin thing again. This is a little bit more, even more despicable.
Hey, straight up, man. I got to piggyback on that. There's a brother in this room right now. I ain't going to say his name, but he told me about a week ago. He said, if we're going to be on some stand our ground vigilante stuff, then everybody going to be on it, including us. So I'm with you all the way live on that, brother. Yes, indeed. Afro, you back, brother?
Yeah, I'm here. I've been listening the whole time. I'm just in my kitchen right now.
I wanted to ask you a question.
Everything.
I wanted to ask you a question, family. Since we was talking about this, fam, but since we got 100+ in here, I wanted to ask you a question, brother. We was talking about doing more in the last couple years than the last 50 years. Why do you think that, brother? Other than just us being on code, why do you think we've moved so fast and so far in a shorter amount of time than other generations have with more amount of time?
That's an interesting question. That's a very layered question. I'm gonna say, first off, a shout out to the new black media, because they're a huge factor as to why, and the logic as to why. I would say, I think it's a spiritual, and I don't really talk about like spiritual awakenings and everything like that, but I feel like it's come to this point because you can only, the white supremacists, we have to understand white supremacy is sophisticated, but white supremacy is not flawless. White supremacy makes mistakes. And one of the biggest mistakes that they've made is pretty much backing black society into a corner where there is no option, there is no hope. They used to fool a lot of black people with the thing of assimilation. And I was somewhat talking about assimilation on my broadcast last night when they were talking about, okay, well, we need black mayors, black governors. We even need a black president. When we have more black faces in high places, it will be easier for black society to pretty much assimilate and become civilized, and we can all live in a racially blind society. The thing is that white society had played that card too long and too many times, especially with Obama. That was their last big Hail Mary to ever really play that card. And once they played that card and that card was done, it unlifted, it revealed a veil that was a tactic that they'd been doing for the longest time. Now, when you back people into the corner, what they used to do is they would back people into a corner and they would give us the illusion that there was some type of avenue, some type of exit to escape oppression outside of completely standing up and resisting it. There was some type of way to non-violent, and I'm not advocating violence, don't get me wrong, but there was some non-violent way to assimilate and to get everybody to get along and to get everybody to learn and love and understand. That's the avenue that they tried to sell, and they sold that to the previous generations for too long now that they're out of things to sell. They can't sell that anymore. So the illusion that there's a password to escape oppression, the illusion that if we become friendly enough, the illusion that if we are more civilized, more law-abiding, the illusion that if we are more intelligent, the illusion that these things will stop our oppression, will make them not want to oppress us, is completely gone. So now Black society does not desire, and this goes back to what I was talking about earlier, Black society does not desire to change the hearts of white society. Black society now collectively, especially FBA society, now collectively wants to just get out of the oppression by the only other alternative that we have, which is fighting against it. That's kind of my shortest answer as to saying that, but it's been a long time coming, but they pretty much, because they've had to ramp up, white society adapts, but white society does make mistakes. And because their numbers are dwindling, they've had to make some desperate moves, which led them to make mistakes. And the thing is, resistance naturally builds up in a people anyway. You know what I'm saying? Resistance will naturally build up in any society that is oppressed for a certain amount of time, regardless. So this movement that we're having is irregardless of the mistakes that the dominant society has made, but the dominant society's mistakes, coincidentally, and I believe it's all for a purpose, it's all for a divine purpose, but their mistakes have aligned with the time it would take for us to build that natural resentment towards white supremacy and towards racial oppression anyway. So both of these things are really colliding at the same time.
Big facts, brother. That part. I tell that to people consistently. Supremacy makes so many mistakes. It's just we're the first generation of era to take advantage of those mistakes. If your enemy or whatever, your opposition makes mistakes and you don't take advantage of it, then you ain't really doing nothing. And the best part about us is that we see where they mess up, and us and the Black grassroots keeps it moving. And salute to the Black grassroots. Let me say that. Can y'all imagine where we be right now without the Black grassroots? It was always the Black grassroots that kept things in motion. All right. You can go back to slavery on the plantation, the civil rights era. It was the Black grassroots that got things jumping. It was never the mainstream. The mainstream used to always be the ones driving the bus, and we would go wherever they took us. And what did we do right here in this era? We got rid of all of the mainstream people. If you see somebody coming in here and they a swirler and they trying to run that divide between our brothers and sisters, let's keep it 100. Those people are off code and we don't rock with them. But we're not going to sit back and allow those people to be seen as the forefront of the community. We know who is certified and we know who is counterfeit. So anybody who's coming and trying to speak on behalf of us, we're going to understand whether they're an imposter, we're going to understand whether they're a fraud, and we're going to understand whether they are about the community. So anybody talking that nonsense has been pushed out the game. So salute to all of our brothers, Beatzilla, Marcel, Afro, my man Dewan B, Sage. I got everybody here. Shout out to our sister Just E was here, Nikki, FBA Empress, Melanated Minds, Natural Tura, Antoinette, Star, all y'all. We all rock together as a collective. Man, woman, the whole community. We understand that there's strength in numbers. We understand that when we are on game together, we get things done. And that's what we've been doing. And I don't care what nobody says. No disrespect to the past, but this era is different. What the kids say, it hit different. This generation hits different because, like you were saying, Afro, we don't have this blind faith in the establishment. We all understand that we move with the people who are serious about putting in the work. We don't just move and go to everybody and try to get them to assist us. So once again, it's all about us. And y'all know on the Black Alpha Network, I center everything in FBA excellence. If you want to sit down and be depressed and be angry, that's the past. Brothers and sisters was on that all the time back in the day. They was just upset, defeated. They didn't know what to do. We don't do that. If we're going to go where we're trying to go, we're going to have some confidence. We're going to have to walk with our head to the sky, with our chest out, and we're going to have to speak what's on our mind. So that's the type of energy that I always bring, and I'll never be defeated. Y'all never hear Black Alpha sitting here saying things is bad and we need to do better and we need to work harder. Fuck that. No, let's continue doing what we're doing. Let's just do it day to day, second to second. And as long as we continue to do that, the Black grassroots will conquer everything. And if you've been watching, we've been conquering everything. There's not one thing that they done put in front of us that we ain't knocked down. There ain't one op that they done sent at us that we ain't rejected. So every time you see them making a move out of desperation, that's only because we are on game, we're on point, and we're on code. DJ Fresco, I don't know if you're there, but you've been waiting for a minute. You can go ahead and unmute yourself, family.
What's going on, everybody? I'm new. I've been following you for a while and seeing your Twitter space, bro. And I never chimed in because I always be busy, you know. But I'm gonna tell you now, I'm not on no op shit, on no Trojan horse shit. None of that, bro. This is my first time in here. This is my first time really speaking to y'all. But from the few seconds I heard you all, I like what I'm hearing, man. Big ups to y'all, but I want to ask a question. Do you all think it will get to a point where, because you all say, like Marcel said, we got to start being on some vigilant shit and stuff. Do you all think it will get to the point that we'll have to kill for reparations? Do you all think it'll get to that?
What you saying? We got to do what?
Do you all think that we have to knock some heads off to get to that point to get reparations? Do you all think it will get to that?
Nah, brother. Nah. We ain't on that type of time, family. We are businessmen and women. We're professional. We're making a just claim. All that type of stuff right there, brother. Nah, brother, we don't do that. That's love and hip hop shit, brother. We are businessmen and women. We got a justice claim. And if you look, your answer is already answered, brother. Brothers and sisters are out here. We're not running amok. You can look at that bullshit ass Roe versus Wade, and then white women was far more violent. There's not been one violent situation. We are not violent people. Certified foundational Black Americans are clean cut. We speak with precision, and we're not on no violence. So knocking heads off or whatever you alluded to, you're going to have to take that to another space, brother. Point blank. We don't do none of that. And matter of fact, that question is insulting. So I'm sorry, brother. I'm going to have to drop you, brother. That's just what it is. We ain't on that type of time.
Well, fuck you,
no
then.
way, no. All right, your mama, homeboy. Your mama. Checkmate. Hey, y'all know it's an op when they start off and say, I ain't no op. That's like motherfucker telling you, I ain't gonna snitch. You know they about to tell on the whole house. They gonna tell on the cat, the goldfish. They about to tell on every goddamn body.
That
the hell
nigga
out
got
of
two
here.
daddies.
What's it say, brother?
That nigga got two daddies.
He knew that he was asking a suspect question by preferencing, you know, they tell on themselves. All you got to do is pay attention and they tell on themselves. He knew he was asking a suspect question by saying, you know, I'm not an op. Because if you were genuinely new to the movement and you had no idea that that question was sideways, that question would be taken in that type of way, you wouldn't have even said, I'm saying I've been following y'all. I swear to God, I'm just on code. Let me ask this incredibly incriminating off code question. You know what I'm saying? He knew what he was doing. So I kind of looked at his profile. He's not been following anybody I know. Nobody knows who he is or whatever the case is. I've never seen this person before. He says he's been listening to our spaces. I've never seen him before. And that's not to say that he hasn't been listening to the spaces, but he knew that was an op-like question. Now, the way Black Alpha deflected from that question was perfect. It's masterful, and everybody should learn from that. Anytime somebody says, don't you think we need to deal with these? And I got Molotovs and cocktails in the car, and if you guys have seen the, what's that Black Panther movie, Fred Hampton and the Black Messiah or something like that, where William O'Neill, he opened a trunk full of bombs, and man, we got to blow this. All of that stuff, that's op behavior. Okay, we've gotten this far, and we have not committed any type of terroristic or violent action, and we can finish the rest of the race without doing that.
Hey, and Afro, it was his reaction. The minute, because brother Black Alpha, That was a very respectful way of saying it in response that we're not gonna, because we are professional. We ain't here for all that nonsense. And anyone here that's here with their heart right, they'll say, "Oh, my bad. I'm sorry." You know what I mean? That's not what I was on. I apologize. So the fact that he had that emotional reaction, that shows you why he got caught breaking whatever crime he broke to get caught up and get put with them folks. How to just take the news and just be like, "All right, cool." He had this violent emotional reaction of comprehension is what caused him to commit whatever crime he committed to get in the hands of those folks who sent his ass this way.
Hey, what's that movie with LL Cool J and Omar Epps?
In Too Deep.
Yeah, BZW.
Jay Reed. Hey man, I'm still in the room, baby. With the hey, we see you coming. But I would have just said before he even got rolling, all I would have said is, hey, family, so he knows that what he's saying, I'm not an op, that he had to identify that. Yeah, make him sit on that one. Because again, he knows he's coming with a whole different line. So as soon as he said I wasn't an op, it's like, okay, so you've been listening to us for long enough that he's heard everybody on this stage is get down. So he know exactly who we are. So he's going to come in here now towards the end of your space to try to throw, while look at the countdown to the FBA Expo. While you're also talking about the reparations rally, to which our brother Dwan B also spoke at. This brother knew exactly what he was doing, coming in here with the op language. And he was so nervous that he even basically had to tell on himself, first off, I'm not an op. Every time that we have ever heard anybody say some stuff like that, he's off. But one thing I do want to say, family, make sure you pay attention to these type of individuals because time is ramping up. And so it's going to be very important to stay sharp and keen on individuals coming around trying to talk like that. This is a claim against the United States government. What the hell is he talking about? We gonna have to, no, we not. We gonna go ahead and handle this thing like everybody else do, with the law. Ain't this a constitution and a law? So they can we trying to get laws passed. So let's go deal with the law. Why would you come over here and make reparations criminal? But I mean, I'm just saying, sorry folks, but I'm just saying, he is really trying to put black folks in the blender. So just keep an eye on these individuals like that, because who knows, like my brother Dwan B done said, they're going to start rolling out all of they snitches that they can think they can have credibility. Like, hey, man, you want to get that time off, don't you? You want to get that ankle bracelet off. You go ahead and have to do what these doing. So just be mindful and very vigilant in these coming months and this next year, because the Democrats are looking at this space right here. All of y'all here that's speaking and have spoken and are listening, they want to know what temperature you're on, and they got it. So family, just beware. I just want to stress that. Beware, be very vigilant of ops coming around trying to mix reparations into criminality. And with that being said, y'all, black first, I'm gone.
Hey, B1 salute, family. They know what time it is. They know foundational Black American brothers and sisters. We are businessmen and women. We fresh, we clean, we look good, we hold it down, and none of that type of dirt that they trying to throw on us is ever going to be on it because we too clean for that. So to anybody out there and everybody out there that's ever trying to smear or slander our name, it ain't going to work because we too goddamn clean and we too professional. Brother Sage, hold on. Brother Sage, I've been waiting on you, brother. Sage, come on up to the floor, bro.
Peace to the family. That got me good, brother?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sorry about that, man. I'm incredibly busy out here. Now I'm out at this little kid event. I do want to say this. Expectations for the family. Expectations for the expo. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. I just hope I get to see the family. I hope everyone is healthy. I hope everyone is happy. I hope everyone is networking. Shout out to my brother. Shout out to Black Alpha, Queen, Afro Elite for throwing this space so that people can get some early networking That's very important. Shout out to you brothers for putting in that work and doing that. I would love to see more vendors coming up here and speaking on their product, definitely. I didn't catch much of what was said. I caught what Zilla said. I didn't catch what that last dude said. Again, you have to play past the odds. You know that they're going to come around. You just have to, take steps to try to avoid that. Again, I didn't catch it, so I don't know exactly what homie said, or if I don't even know if it was a dude or a female. I don't know. But regardless of that, family, do not get lost in the sauce. Okay, this is about the expo. This ain't about no violence. This is about getting us forward. Okay, we got so far, and we haven't, been violent at all, per se. We've gotten so far. We haven't had to use violence, so. We're not going to let any William O'Neills come in here and try to throw us off our path, okay? So, again, but everyone in here, you should know that by now. This is not new. We've been doing this for a long time, and we're going to continue to make progress after the expo. What my expectations are for the expo is to see all of these brothers there on stage. See you, Queen. I will be behaving. I will be behaving when I get there, Queen. I promise you. And again, just to network with the family and try to get some ideas together. I love it when I sit down and talk with the family. Hopefully we'll get to sit down and talk in person, and maybe we might even do like a live stream for you guys while currently at the expo. Again, it's a lot that we have to look forward to. I want the family just to be safe traveling there, safe traveling back. If you see me in there, say hi. It's all good. It's all love again. Ain't no William O'Neills on this side. So, family, keep, your spirits up. And I look forward to seeing you guys in Dallas a little bit over a week from now. Much love to the family. I'm sorry I'm doing so much stuff while I'm talking to you guys. So much love to the family. I want to shout out some people in here. Shout out, my brother Dwan B. Let me start with you. Much love to you, brother. I learn every time from your spaces. Thank you for recording your spaces too, because not all the time are we available, but you always give us a chance to go back and check it out. Much love. Thank you so much. Again, me being a student of music, I learned so much from you. Shout out to you, Beatzilla. Again, to you. So much music, so much. Shout out to you for, all your funny, all your, I want to say, all the comedy that you throw within your shows. My favorite song, Get Up Off That Crack. I love that song. You need to play that like maybe 20 times while we at the expo. Shout out to you, Afro, all the knowledge that you bring. Shout out to you for staying on top of what's going on in Chicago. Not just focusing on Chicago, focusing on the nation, but, shout out to you for all the work and all the fucking time that you spend researching all your stuff. My brother Torian Rain, I know you're not in here right now. You'll pop in later. You might hear the playback. Shout out to you, brother. You know all the work that you're doing. We're gonna have to make like a lifetime award for with the work that you're putting in. If y'all haven't checked out Torian Rain's Massacre series, please go to his channel. He has it laid out as a playlist. I'm currently on part 15. So again, y'all need to, pay attention to what's going on, and just more knowledge is better, family. Okay. Hey, come back. Sorry, I see my little 3-year-olds running to the street. Oh, no. Hold on, I'll be back, y'all.
Salute, family. Salute. Hey, I can't pronounce your name, brother. Oh, you there? You backstage?
Yeah. She ran into the street. Tell them, say sorry, baby. Say sorry. Say sorry. Don't just stand there looking cute. Say sorry. Okay. Anyway, what was I saying? Now, back to my brother Black Alpha. Thank you again, brother, for always opening the door, for always having the energy that you do. Young DMX as you are, having that courage and that energy to like just speak up on your broadcast. I love it when you be like, fuck that shit. A lot of the times when you do that, again, brother, shout out to all of y'all for your courage. Shout out to Queen for this being with that motherfucker Black Alpha. I don't know how you do it. But anyway, that's my brother. I love y'all. Shout out to Jay Winfield, John Horse, my brother. Thank you for always coming up, speaking knowledge, speaking everything that you know, passing on whatever knowledge. Any knowledge that you guys have that you give, continue to pass that on. Please, because if you, go away, if you pass on, that knowledge passes on too. So continue to give knowledge. That's what all of these brothers do, whether it be Jason, Tariq, Professor Black Truth, Claude Anderson. I can continue on. John Henry Clark, all the brothers, y'all know them. I'm not going to continue on going on. But all they did was give knowledge, and they still continue to give knowledge. So please, give knowledge. I love it when y'all come up on these spaces and y'all give knowledge. I'm always listening. My brother Esau, shout out to you, brother, of course. Again, this is like a fucking Grammy speech. I'm trying to get caught up as much as I could. But again, I love y'all as a family. I look forward to seeing y'all in Dallas. I'm going to stay on stage as much as I could. I know I got kids around me, so I don't know if y'all can hear them. I try to put the voice isolation on, South Apple. But I want to say if y'all have any questions, anything, you know, again, I'll be up in Dallas, but I'll stay up on stage and y'all can ask me whatever y'all want. Peace to the family.
Damn, brother, we would have thought you won an award. This man came over. Shout out to my mama. Shout out to my grandmama, my Uncle Larry, my cousin. I'm like, damn, brother, okay. He shouted out everybody. I respect it.
I wanted to shout out Rilla. I see his ass that ran up out of here. When Rilla get your ass back in here, I'm hopping on this mic because, I want to see Rilla because I got some shit about Ice Spice for his ass too. So somebody get Rilla's ass back up in here. Somebody get Rilla's ass back up in here. But anyway, continue on, family.
Hey, man, I'm over here laughing, bro. I had to mute myself, man. Hey, salute to you. Hey, stay safe, Sage. I'm going to see you in about a week and a half, brother. I can't pronounce your name, bro. It's D-I... Hey, right there, brother. You had your hand up. It's all on you. Damn. Hey, Afro, you know this dude's name? Oh, there you go. It's all on you, family.
Oh, all right. Hey, what's up, everybody? I just got one question to ask. After we get the after we get the reparations, what's gonna be our next plan? Is we gonna try to I don't know. I was thinking about it's the neighborhoods that got gentrified, like East Austin or the place called the Hunters Point in San Francisco. Are we gonna try to get them neighborhoods back, or what's the next play? I'm sorry about that. I'm kind of tongue-tied. I'm kind of tongue-tied at the minute. What's our next step after that? Are we going to get back the neighborhoods that got gentrified, or what's the next steps after reparations?
Hey, first off, brother, you good, man. You amongst family, bro. You just let it flow, family. It's all love on this side. All love, brother. You a family. It's FBA family tree. You want to take that, Afro?
Yeah, I'll say the next plan is all of the above. Anything you can think of that we doing after reparations, we're going to do all of it because we have enough people with enough intelligence, enough power, enough unity, and we'll get everything done. Okay.
I threw up the neighborhoods because it was a lot of places that was kind of taken from us. I named a few neighborhoods in San Francisco and one in Austin, but it's they did a lot of dirty stuff to kick us out of it's some places that was ours. You know what I mean? So I don't know what's the step to get them places back, but I don't know. That was just my personal thought.
I mean, that's a good idea. That's a good plan. What we can do when we get the reparations, we can build up the neighborhoods that we're living in right now. You know, there's neighborhoods there's cities that are currently being gentrified, and we can stop that. With that, we have to understand our history. We have to understand Tulsa, Oklahoma was not no popping neighborhood prior to us going there, prior to us being there. These places were not popping prior to us being there. We came there and we developed these lands and we developed these communities. So it's not something that's foreign to us. It's not something that we can't do over again, especially on top of the fact that we'll have reparations. So I'm not saying we won't go back, because we will, and we do have a right to go back, but we can make something new. You know, I want us to get in the mind frame, and I'm not saying you're not, but we should get in the mind frame of we're not just going back to take what was taken from us. We're also going to create things in the future. You know, so it's going to be like I said, all of the above.
Okay. Yeah. It's a good way of looking at it. I didn't think of it that way. And thank you. I appreciate it.
That's a good question.
Damn good question, man. There goes that FBA energy, man. Y'all see what happens when we get to networking and we get to building. One of the things I tell brothers and sisters that we can do is, since we all have a bunch of different expertise, everybody can build in a certain area. Once again, look right here and look at our locations and then look at our expertise. So we got a lot of different ways that we can actually come at the game to empower ourselves. But let's look at everywhere where we're struggling economically or socially or politically, and then we can pool our money in it. Not like every last black person, but we can do it in blocks and we can do it in sectors. So that part right there is just a small thing that we can do, but it helps us build, it helps us galvanize, and it helps us move forward. So let's just find out where brothers and sisters are, being isolated find out where brothers and sisters are being, reprimanded, where brothers and sisters are being deprived, and then therefore we could take our money, we can pull it in those areas and get it going, whether that is housing, whether that is education, or I know one thing that I'm definitely going to do. I want to get some real self-defense training places up, but that's something that we can do amongst our brothers and sisters. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to call some of my brothers and sisters, and then we're going to get together and we're going to politic, and then we're going to put our money together and build, because our money as a collective in a voter block and in a financial block, it always goes further, and that's something that we have learned from our master teachers. So there's a lot of things, like you said, Brother Afro, all of the above that we can do, but it's all about us being on code. So whatever it is, the first step is that we all stepping together. FBA Empress, is all on you, sister.
Good evening, everyone. Shout out to Black Alpha, Queen Alpha, Afro Elite, the family. I just wanted to say, I'm excited, you guys. I can't wait. Y'all, I'd have had my tickets. I'd have had everything since January. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see y'all again. Like if you was at the rally, that's in my backyard. I'm from DC. So I can't wait to see everybody again, meet new people, all parts of the family. I will be there promoting my tour that I do of Black Broadway in DC. And like Afro Elite was just saying, like Black Broadway was one of those towns, like we was popping in the Great Depression. That was like when they was having a depression, we was segregated Jim Crow. Okay, cool. We rock it. Like, you know what I mean? So I do those tours. I'll be there promoting that. I just can't wait to see y'all. Duan, I literally just got my ticket like 10 minutes ago. So I'm coming to the comedy show, all that. I'm going to be in Dallas from probably Friday to Tuesday, but I just can't wait to see the family and hook up with everybody. And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Salute, sister. I can't wait to see you as well. Man, all y'all, man, this is a family affair. All the way, man. I cannot wait. Afro, I know you're excited, brother.
Brother, I want to leave tonight. If I could, I would leave tonight. You know what I'm saying? The month is going very fast. And I love that.
Because he says that shit on Plain Joke, but he might leave tonight. He likes to arrive before all of us. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets there on Wednesday night, knowing that the shit is on Saturday. He'll probably get there on Tuesday. Don't make me bring up the rally, Afro. We ain't gonna talk about that. I'm gonna leave that off the space for right now. Y'all continue on.
Y'all know this brother knows me well, because I might mess around and do that. I'm thinking about it. Sage got to tell me all the time not to drive. I don't know. He got to tell me he got to remind me all the time, don't drive, because everybody knows I drive places.
Hey, you international Afro. We might see your ass everywhere, bro, with that FBA flag waving, family. That's how you do it, though, bro. Take it everywhere you go. All right, family, we're about to get up out of here, man, because I'm about to go live. I need everybody, as always, swing over to the Black Alpha Network. We just want to chop it up, man, and like we always say, celebrate ourselves. Give ourselves that round of applause, represent. Hear a couple. I want to thank my mama's speeches, and I'm glad. I want to thank the whole academy. So salute to the whole team. One love to everybody. I cannot wait to see everybody in Dallas. Like we said before, and we'll say it again, we'll always say it. It's all about us being together in the same space. The internet is cool, but once we get in the same space and we share that same energy, it's unmatchable. And I always say we're unbreakable, we're untouchable, we're unmatched, and we're stronger than ever. And I stand by all of those. So it's a good thing to see everybody. I will be there. Queen Alpha will be there. I know my brothers and sisters right here will be there. I cannot wait to, get together with everybody and just once again, show everybody that the world, is all ours. Everything belongs to us. You know what I'm saying? Just continue to look at it and continue to move in that fashion, and just understand that no matter what people throw at us, no matter what pops up, no matter what goes down, we've been here since day one. And we're going to always be here. And we're not just going to be here stagnant. We're going to be here exceptional. But Brother Afro, I'll let you go ahead and close it out. Y'all swing over to the Black Alpha Network, because this was the nice version of me. All right, this was the cool version of me and the real polite version. But here at about 8:30 on the Black Alpha Network, it's going to be the real turn-up version of me, because we're going to run some people off the block. I got Hit 'em Up and Dear Mama in me. This was Dear Mama, and then we're going to get some Hit 'em Up tonight. So certified salute to everybody. Can't wait to see y'all in Dallas. One love from the Black Alpha Network. Go ahead, Brother Afro.
I want to thank everybody for coming, everybody who was on code that came, everybody who was a no damn agent that came in the building. Thank everybody for coming. I want to shout out everybody who is going to be at the expo, everybody who's going to be at the expo in spirit, everybody who's supporting, people getting their tickets to our brother Dewan B's show prior to the expo, getting ready for it. People, shout out to all of the vendors out there getting their business and everything. This is what happens when the collective of Black society, I want us to understand that none of this could happen if all of us were not a part of this. This can't happen with one or two people who want to do something. This can't happen with 10 people who want to do something. It's hundreds and thousands of us, just like at the rally, was thousands of us at the rally, and there's going to be more at the expo. It's thousands of us who, like I said, the time of change has come for enough of us, young, old, male, female. The time of change has come, and the maroon spirit has really been activated in our heart. There's things that they say can trigger certain emotions, can trigger certain trauma, can trigger certain activities, and that can work in the reverse. And it's actually working in the reverse. There's been things that have activated our spirit, our warrior spirit, our righteousness, our need for self-empowerment and self-improvement. And that's what's going on right now. So that's the era that we're in right this second. So shout out to everybody who's doing everything that they're doing, because it's not me or him or her that's doing it. It's all of us together that's making this happen. We've made so much progress in the last 2 years, just the last 2 years alone, until very recently. So you can only imagine in the next couple of years how much farther we're going to be. And that's because of all of us together, all of us loving each other, all of us being family, working together, working through our issues, working through our difficulties and our differences, and staying on code as a family. So shout out to every single last one of you guys. And make sure, I want to see all of y'all, make sure y'all swing over to our brother Black Alpha on the Black Alpha Network on YouTube to catch his live. Is going down tonight. You don't want to be anywhere else. Okay, that's the main event for Tuesday night. You got to be there. Make sure you guys swing over to YouTube.
All right, now, Brother Afro, now while they over there listening to the Black Alpha Network, tell them what they should subscribe to while they over there.
Oh, you definitely want to subscribe to my channel, okay? You definitely want to do that. You know what I'm saying? If y'all not subscribed, you guys are missing out on great content, okay? People message me all the time talking about how much they love talking about. I got a lot of good things coming up in the future. A lot of good interviews, hint, hint, wink, wink. A lot of good interviews coming up in the future. People say they love the interviews, so I'm bringing you more of them. So definitely, I'm not going to spoil anything because I hate doing that. I like to build that suspense, but definitely swing over, hit the notification bell because YouTube be hating. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on some of the great future content that we have coming forward.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Shout out to you, Brother Afro. Y'all subscribe to my brother. Subscribe to my brother Beatzilla as well. Y'all follow my brother Sage, Torian Reigns, Kid Gravity, the whole nine. Salute to everybody. Cannot wait to see y'all. And me and Afro might have something popping in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. So y'all check out and y'all look out for us. One love to the whole family. All of my brothers, sisters, kings, queens, goddess, and gods. See y'all later, man. I'm going to catch you on the Black Alpha Network. One love, one love, one love.